Dr. Andrea Goeglein, an executive mentor, talking about serving success. That is the name of her business. 10 life laws and strategies we were talking about when we went to commercial break. Talking about talking things to death and just taking action. You like number 8.
Yes. One of my all-time favorites that I used a lot in my practice with clients when I first was using, when this book first came out in the late 90s. And I was teaching this particular one, and it is, we teach other people how to treat us. I attracted to that because there is a rule in my business that says that you teach what you need to learn. Okay? So, in my life at that time, my husband and I, we had an adolescent daughter who gratefully is no longer an adolescent daughter.
Oh, our sympathies to you. Our condolences.
High maintenance. High maintenance.
Yeah.
Well, we had what I affectionately call the dark decade, and we were somewhere in the first few years of the dark decade, and I was pretty confused because here I am quite well versed in behavior, and I know how to treat people, and I know why people behave the way they do, and I've got to tell you, it wasn't pretty enough.
Well, I think there's a lot of people in that same sinking boat.
Yes. Let me make you feel better.
Yes.
You had 3.
Oh, no.
You had 3 daughters. And they all turned out wonderfully, but they all go through that stage.
Yes.
And it's like they're telling us, and we don't teach them how we want to be treated.
And I have got to tell you, at that point, there I was reading these 10 life laws, and that one jumped out at me. And I realized that, in fact, that what I was doing was teaching her how it was okay to treat me back. And so every time I responded to her elevated voice, which generally didn't have a nice message attached to the other end of it, with my even deeper elevated voice, which had even a less nice message attached to it, I was basically teaching her, you know, just keep up in the ante, just keep up in the ante. And so I took that personally. And I applied it. If I wanted her to treat me differently, I obviously had to teach from a different place. And like all things, when you do teach different things and you are in the process of learning, you know, there is another line that says that when you are a carpenter, everything is a nail. And that is one of the things that's very, very true when you pick up self-improvement books. The thing that jumps out at you generally is that thing that whether you're aware of it or
that
not
you're
at that
wrestling with?
Absolutely.
Do you think? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I didn't mean to steal your
It
thunder.
is, no, but that
But you
is
did.
But I did.
And so I want to start working you guys back and forth and see if we can get some volume here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what does so happen. Something jumps out at you, and it's jumping out at you because somewhere in your life at that moment there is someone or something or some business situation that really is replicating that. And you can see it. You know, I will be the person who admits that the first kind of self-help book that I ever read, I read it, and I could see all of my friends in that book.
But not you.
Not me.
Because you be the perfect one.
Oh, I absolutely,
Let's go to there is no reality. Because I kind of live in that world.
Yes.
There's only perception.
Correct.
Now, how does that work? Because it says here, let's see, identify the filters through which you view the world.
Well,
rose-colored glasses, perhaps?
Well, rose-colored glasses and even just general perception. There's a beautiful little joke about a woman who goes to Florida and there's a no swimming, please, and a sign on the pool, and she proceeds to get in the pool. The manager comes out, what are you doing? There's a sign. And she said, oh, I thought it said no, swimming, please. Okay, so there is right there perception. There is a reality. The sign says no swimming, please, but my way of interpreting, and that has to do with everything we do in life. You know, when someone responds how you are at any given moment, how you're feeling at any given moment, we'll say, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I have a habit of every time I hear something, I just came back from New York with my husband, and in the 3.5 days we were there, 14,000 people got laid off at Bear Stearns. The mayor, the governor had a major scandal, and a new person was brought in, and a crane fell down on a townhouse. Okay, that was a 3.5 day period. Coming in on the airplane yesterday where they have TVs, I saw the inaugural of that new governor, and it was singularly one of the most inspiring swearing-in ceremonies. You could feel the energy through the TV. It was so beautiful. And I thought, isn't that interesting? They've just traversed these 3 days, and yet you can raise it up.
Isn't that true? You know, because we watch media all the time, and that's another thing. We watch the television, and this is our real world. The real world is inside that tube with these 90-second sound bites that tell you all the horrendous things going on in life. They don't ever tell you all the good things going on in life. So again, that's perception, isn't it?
Yes.
We perceive it on the TV, on the media, but that isn't reality. Reality is we're living in a pretty good community with good people doing good things every single day of our lives.
Yes, and as you well know, the positive psychology is based in evolutionary psychology, which is very much grounded. As gruesome as it appears on any given moment, when you go back through history, we are actually doing better. And it is hard to relate to unless you study the history, but it is really a point.
I know, if you watch television 24 hours a day, you really don't think you are doing
if you went back where our parents were, my folks went through the Great Depression. You know, the people talking about, oh, woe is me, and this company went out of business, and oh my God, we're not going to make this through this thing. Yes, we are.
Absolutely.
The fact of the matter is yes, we are. And my folks went through that, your folks went through that, and that was a horrendous time. And look how wonderful they came out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, we are celebrating with our little gold bunnies the Easter week, and if you ever know the stories of Christianity and what that is all about, we do not do today what happened back then. Like when we even saw the picture of that when it was brought to the cinema, we couldn't believe that humans would treat other humans in that manner. That's a very good sign. That's a very hopeful. There are things that are no longer okay to do, and it's just hard to find. But when you have things at the personal level, something as simple as 10 laws that you can follow, and you can say, you know, am I doing this? Am I, you know, just pick one. Don't try and take on all 10. Pick one and say, okay, this is the thing that jumps out at me now. What does it mean?
Do you recommend we buy the book?
I absolutely recommend it. Always because you can get it very inexpensively at this point because it's almost 10 years old. So, yes, I always recommend that you get this book.
Gotta love him, huh?
Yes.
Absolutely. Andrea, as always, thank you so very much.
You're very
Inspiring, enlightening conversation.
And we have chocolate mousse without the mousse.